Good morning, guys. Good afternoon. Good night. I don't know if I want to use this one. It's like a marker. But I was channeling a song before I started this video, and it's not a Monday. It's actually a Friday when I'm recording this video. But I'm hearing Manic Monday. Like, it's just another Manic Monday. Which is, the whole song is kind of the vibe of the to-do list, right? Having so many things to get done, so little time. Much rather be doing something else, but having to do this, which is all of us. Every single person on this earth resonates with that. And I can't get it out of my head. I just keep hearing it. I've been hearing it for probably like 30 minutes now, just playing over and over on repeat in my head. Just another Manic Monday. So we have that, right? Manic Monday. And then I also wanted to talk about I have this bag of pretzels. I love pretzels. They're one of my favorite little snacks, pretzels. And in the bag, in fact, I need to go get it. I saved it. There was a pretzel in it that is a B. It's a letter B. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So I saved it because I thought it was unique. And something last night told me to just look up pretzels, the meaning of pretzels, and it's actually very spiritual or religious. So we'll get into that. Let me go get this pretzel and show you guys. There's the pretzel. Tell me that don't look like a B, like a cursive B or something. That being said, let me show you, or rather I'll tell you what I found about pretzels last night. So the first thing I found was Google said that the pretzel is long considered a good luck symbol due to its religious roots. Some say they were originally called, I'm gonna butcher this, bracale, the Latin term for little arms, from which Germans later derived the word bretzel, which is funny. Instead of pretzel, they called it bretzel, and I got a B. In the Catholic Church, pretzels held religious significance because of their ingredients. When made with a simple recipe of only flour and water, they could be eaten during Lent, which Christians were forbidden to eat certain foods. Over time, pretzels became associated with both Lent and Easter. Historians believe that it was created by monks in southern France or northern Italy, where they would use scraps of dough from their bread baking and formed them into strips to represent a child's arms folded in prayer. So very spiritual, very religious. I also read somewhere that they used to be vegan. They're not so vegan anymore, pretzels, but they used to be vegan. So we have pretzels and religious symbolism here, or spiritual symbolism. And we have Manic Monday, kind of the idea, not so much the title Manic Monday, but it's more so the idea, oh, okay, I'm getting it. The vibe I'm feeling right now is, you know when you just get so busy with life, everything. Children, if you have family, business, your health, whatever it is, you get so busy. You have very little time for yourself at the end of each day. At least the majority of us do. It's like, you know, this life has been, it kind of more so evolved for the human race, where we are constantly having to go, because if you don't, you can't pay your bill. Especially now, food's outrageous, you can't even pay it, gas, you know, it's things like this. So then you have to work even harder, and you have to take more time away from yourself, from your growth, from the things that are very important, like the inward, right? Like, we're so worried about everything else staying together that it's so hard to find the time to focus on our soul, to focus on regrouping, rebalancing. Why are we really here? For prayer, even. For thanks. We forget to give thanks. We forget to have those quiet moments because we just feel like we don't have time. Maybe we don't forget about it, but we just don't have the time. Let's say you've already come out on the other side of this, okay? Because some people have. Let's say you've already come out on the other side of this, where you have a pretty balanced life and you're able to take time for yourself. You've learned to make time. You've prioritized your time, okay? Let's say you used to be kind of chaotic and not have enough time for yourself, or not make the time, but you've since learned. You could be kind of observing the world, the human race, the human nature, and kind of what is going on and what's been pushed on us, what has gotten us to where we are now, and you could be having these revelations like, we weren't meant to do any of this. We weren't meant to do any of what we're doing right now. Everything that we did many, many, many moons ago, when we actually may not have been here, but others were before us, they didn't have any of what we have now. Yes, they had fast-paced lives. These are people who, back many, many moons ago, we had to get up early every morning. There goes the bug zapper, still going. Okay, you had to get up every morning and you had to hunt your food every day. We didn't have refrigerators to put our food in, you know? It's not like we could store up food for a whole entire week. No, every morning, every day, you know, you had to get up and hunt your own food. There was a lot of gardening, there was a lot of hunting. Not to mention just the hunting, you had to have people around you. You couldn't do it on your own. Families came together, societies came together, villages, you could call them villages, came together and helped each other, because one person couldn't do it all. Let's say someone in the family or someone in the village went out, or several people went out and hunted for the day. They went out, got the food, let's say it was a deer or, I don't know, a moose. They bring it back. They got to cut that. They have to skin it. You have to clean it thoroughly. And not to mention, everything back then wasn't edible, you know? There were things that had parasites in it, things that you couldn't cook and clean. They were eat up with it. I mean, you could have spent all day hunting for something. You get it and you can't even eat it because it's completely eat up with parasites or worms, you know? So think about that. Like, we were always kind of fast-paced. We were always fast-paced. We always had things we had to do. It was about early in the morning till laying down at night and doing it again every single day. You didn't have the luxury of refrigerators. You didn't have the luxury of the internet, the automobiles. We're so different than we were before, and there's so many other things to cover on this topic. I just think that we were probably more mindful and aware or appreciative many moons ago. Or our forefathers. I think we were much more likely to sit and give thanks for what we just hunted for the day, or sit and give thanks for the food that grew in our garden. You know, we were much more likely than, because we didn't have it just at our fingertips. We had to work really, really hard. And now think about how we're all working hard for what we want to barely be able to make it, you know? And we still can't remember, or we still can't make time to step back and give thanks for where we are, what we have for each day. And I think that's what's got us to the point that we are now. It's like we're all running around like chickens with our head cut off, the majority of us. I know I do. And I think the majority of us, this is the case. So our relationship with ourself suffers. It's abandoned. And we talk about abandonment, we talk about ghosting, we talk about everyone else doing it to us, but do we realize we do it to ourselves? You know, you attract what you are. You attract people that ghost you because you ghost yourself. You attract people that abandon you because you abandon yourself. Now that's going to be hard for people to hear, but if you've been watching me a while, you know I was also abandoned, okay? There's nothing more abandoning than us, all of us. I don't know anything that's more abandoning than a soul that enters a body. We've talked about this before, but I feel like I need to mention it again. Our soul goes into our body when we come into this existence, right? Or we come through this existence. We come into our human form and we are called born, okay? We stay with this body, which is like, what is it? Our skin is like the largest organ we have. Let's look it up. What is the largest organ on the human body?
According to Better Health Channel, skin is the largest organ of our body. The skin is made up of 3 main layers: the epidermis, dermis, and subcutis.
So the soul comes through into the human body. We call this utero, in utero, and then we come out as a baby. We stay in these bodies for the remainder of our life. Now each individual soul / human has a different, they have a different timeline, right? But we're still in these bodies. And then the day that we leave this earth, the day we leave our existence, the day we are no longer one with the human flesh, and we are sent back. You tell me that's not abandonment. We have literally been in something that has encased us, has held us, has kept us, has made it possible to be here. If we didn't have the human body, we really couldn't be here and have these human experiences as humans. We have to be in partnership with ourselves. So we're in partnership. This is the first partnership we ever have. It's not with our moms and dads. It's with our bodies, with our souls. And we do nothing but neglect it, abuse it, poison it, let any and everybody inside of it, or somebody we claim we love, but then they don't even love themselves. You know what I mean? We're absorbing all this energy. We're consuming all these things. And then at the very end of our existence here, we leave. We just poof, up and leave it like it meant nothing to us. Although if it wouldn't have been for our body, we wouldn't really be here. Not in the way that we are now. But we complain about people ghosting us and people abandoning us. See, I had this awakening. And I still sit with it. And I'm like, wow, you know. And then I talk about, you know, whether you believe in it or not, it's just a story to kind of get the message. I said this in another video recently. I was talking about Jesus and the story of Jesus, if you know about it. And I was saying, I wonder what people said to Jesus if people were like, you ghosted us. You know, they were probably very mad. They were like, where did you go? You didn't tell us where you went. You just up and left. You know, and it's like, because this is not how we were wired. We're so spoiled. You know what I mean? We are so spoiled, rotten. Everything we're saying everyone else is doing to us, we do to ourselves. Myself included, all of us. I am not exempt from this. Every person, every spirit having a human experience on this earth abandons themselves. Yeah, or a part of ourselves. At least in this existence, which would be our human body. Not to mention the whole ride to the end. The whole way to the end, we're just sleeping on the car ride, you know? We're just dozing off, not paying attention to what we're consuming, not paying attention to the air we're breathing, not paying attention to the people we're consuming, the knowledge we're consuming. We're not paying attention to any of it. We completely neglect the one thing that's in front of us the whole time. You know? We take it for granted more so. And you can't tell me every single person on earth won't resonate with that. We all take our human flesh for granted. And then we bitch at everyone else when they do certain things because we feel so entitled. But it's like, how do you think your body feels? This is about the body. This is about rushing. I'm hearing, I rush and rush until life's no fun. All I really gotta do is live and die. But I'm in a hurry and don't know why. Don't know why. Yeah. What's the hurry? Why are you so in a hurry for everyone else to do things when you feel the need to do things? Why are you so in a hurry? You know, I understand, but at the same time, I mean you as in us. Why are we? Why are we so in a hurry? Why do we want to rush and rush and rush? Because we understand that our clock is ticking out. I think biologically we all deep down know it, even if it's like something we don't realize we know. I think this is why we rush. Why we think certain people should answer us back in a certain fashion, you know, and you could call it organization, you could call it, you know, these are things that have to happen in order for this to happen, but it's like, at the end of the day, it all boils down to, what are we doing to ourselves? It starts here. As within, so without. And it's just crazy to me. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just a weird way to think about it. I just find it so interesting how we are the most hypocritical species on the planet, and we think we're the top of the food chain. We're not the top of the food chain. We're one with it all. I don't know. I hope this makes sense. I truly hope this makes sense. I hope that I'm translating it well from the way that I've been seeing it, from the way that Spirit's been showing me. But I don't know. I just had this epiphany one day, and I'm like, wow, it is a form of abandonment. It is the biggest abandonment we will ever experience. And we can't even handle all the little ones that include other people in our lives. We have breakdowns. It ruins our whole lives. We have mommy and daddy issues. We have relationship issues. But it's like, yet the one thing we don't even realize is sitting right there all along. And at some point, we don't really know it when we come into this existence, but we learn it as we go that, oh my God, one day we're going to die. Our human body, the ego, doesn't know it. Now our soul does know. Our soul knows that we have a purpose. We came here for something. We just kind of forget, and we have to see it. We have to uncover it as we go, as we grow, as we develop as a human. Initially, we are not aware that we came here to die. Going back to the story of Jesus, Jesus was aware. Jesus came into the earth knowing he would die and knowing he would be crucified. We don't have that, right? Or we don't remember that. We don't remember it. We uncover it as we go. But then even when we know it, even when we're aware, example, when you're a child, the first funeral you ever attend, so let's say it's somebody in your family or a friend of yours passes. The first funeral you ever attend is usually when you're younger, or that you hear about somebody passing and you're like, oh my God, death? And then they have the talk with you, right? And then you realize, oh, we're all gonna die. I'm gonna die one day. And we know it, right? Like from that moment on, we know it. And what do? We still completely forget. We still go about our lives and we don't think about it. Every now and then we think about it, especially the older our human bodies get. We definitely start thinking about the mortality, right? We start thinking, oh, I don't have that much time left, or maybe I don't. What if I don't? I'm actually gonna die. Like, you know, even though when we're young, we're aware, we become aware at some stage, we don't understand the seriousness of it and how important the connection and the relationship that our soul has to our body is. We don't even pay attention to it. But we're so worried about our relationship to everybody else, and we neglect the one thing that's right in front of us and with us all along. The one thing we can physically hold and touch and take care of, nurture, that nurtures and takes care of us. It houses our soul. Our bodies house our soul. This is why we confuse the soul with the body, and why we get lost in it and we forget we're souls. Because we've talked about this before, how Muji says we're like water, and water assumes the shape of whatever it's put in. So we think we are the body. Now, we aren't the body, but we are part of it. We're in partnership with the body from the very moment we are here. And we still can't make that connection. It becomes one of our most least important things. We miss the complete point of why we're here. We're rushing and rushing and rushing until life's no fun because we don't have the time. But we do have the time. We have right now, and that's all that we have. And so when there are moments that we experience overwhelm, that we experience chaos in a type of way, I think it's very important to take a moment to sit back into yourself, into ourselves, and give thanks for the fact that we're still here experiencing this, no matter how uncomfortable it is. I think everything we see, we can somehow, in a way, turn it inward and learn from it. But we don't do that as a human people. We don't do that as a human species. We point at everyone else. It's just the way that we're wired, we're programmed, or that we've come to be. The first marriage we ever have is when we come into this existence, and the marriage is between the soul and the flesh. That is the marriage. That is our true marriage. You can't divorce that marriage until you leave, but you will divorce it. As hard as that is to fathom, isn't that interesting though? I just find it so interesting. Now, not everybody will understand this message. There are people who don't understand that we are souls. I think they do understand it though, deep down. They just don't want to see it. But that's what I've got today, guys. Just something to think about. I think it's more like food for thought. I feel a shift coming. I definitely feel a shift coming. It is a full moon in Aries. I feel a major shift coming in the entire collective of human beings. It's not about countries now. It's not about countries now. It's not about individual families, individual relationships. We can talk about them. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not about that anymore. We are about to be shown if we aren't right now. I feel a little bit different about this Aries full moon than I do other ones we've had. Usually when an Aries full moon comes, I've got like all this fire in me, you know? I've got all this fire in me, and I'm ready to just, and there's a part of me that still is, but I've been sitting with this a couple of days, And I kind of just want to be still and take it all in, take myself in, take in this whole life that I've experienced so far and revel in it, sit with it. It's a lot to take in. That's humanly, that's 35 years. My soul doesn't know a number, but my human flesh knows that it is 35 years old. I don't know what else to say. I think there's nothing else to say here. There's a lot to think about. We have a lot to think about, and maybe the collective of the human species is going to be having a mass awakening during this time. I'm hearing a sobering experience rather. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. I love you so much. Thank you for being here with me on this planet. Talk to you later. Bye.